I am here with Yangbin Wang, who is the chairman and CEO of Vobile.
Yes.
Thank you. We're at the APEC Summit. I want to start by first asking you, tell us a bit more about Vobile.
We were a startup in Silicon Valley. We started, now 18 years ago. Now we grew certainly over the years. Our focus is content protection and monetization for people, the studios, TV networks, and
The
films.
likes of us too,
yes,
right?
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for your
the videos,
innovation.
all those things, But our vision is really to empower all creators to, basically making their content more valuable, including the content like you're creating right now.
So how exactly do you do that? Tell us a bit more about how the product, because I think that's what's interesting. Everybody's heard of Vobile, but the actual mechanics of how you help us.
Yeah, like we're
profitable.
not the glorious, stars in front of the movie Hollywood. We work with our clients in Hollywood. We are the people, techie people behind the scene. Mm-hmm. That's been my career. I've been in Silicon Valley for 30 years, starting as a video compression engineer. Packing videos, compressing them into a disk, and then putting 300 channels on satellite.
It's like the whole history. It's like you've been every stage, you've witnessed history.
In hindsight, I felt very fortunate. When I came, I just started of the, evolution of digitized video. Mm-hmm. Before that, you probably call the tapes.
Yeah.
And other thing, analog. And then 93, 94 is the time that with the computing power, you can compress video and then put them in a compact form. Put a disk, and you start shipping around, and you can put on a 300 channels. That was a big thing, kind of revolutionized everything. Right now, today, certainly everything is digital. Not on the phone, but you go to movie theater, film, you call film. It's no longer, there's no more film.
Yeah.
Right? You're shooting, everything is digital in today, right? So digital has the benefit of enabling lower cost production and more efficient distribution, reaching more eyeballs, but then also have the side effect, which is copying is very easy. Making a copy
That's
of
what we
digital.
talk about deep fakes and everything
Piracy,
else, right?
all this stuff, certainly as a content owner, they want to have more eyeballs. Which movie producer wouldn't like to have more people watching their movie? But the problem is that if they don't pay, that's a different thing, right?
Yeah.
So in the case of these products, you've seen, the Amazon is transforming all the, basically the infrastructure of these, used to be the products in going to the Walmart and Costco, packaging, selling, but now anyone make a product.
It's
you
direct
go on
to
Amazon,
consumer, yeah.
Direct to consumer.
Yeah.
But what if the digital product like a movie and film, they're not DTC yet, they're not direct to consumer. The reason is that the digital product, when you duplicate it, it's identical. There's no cost. To consumer, it's the same.
Right, so you cannot allow that sort of control.
But if you have a fake Coke, tastes different, it costs money to do it, consumer wouldn't drink it. Because, hey, Coca-Cola, who knows, that's safe or not, right?
Yeah.
But it's a piracy movie. Consumers say, fine, unless you have very high moral standard, you don't reject. So that's the problem with this digital product. So in the case, if you look at the industry, the digital industry, they digitize the movie, film production, distribution, but they're not to a DTC yet. There is a version of DTC today, like Disney Plus, Netflix, which is essentially the big guys packaging everything together, say, hey, you pay me a monthly fee, like a buffet.
Yeah.
I'll give everything to eat.
It's a classic subscription,
But you go to a buffet restaurant, it doesn't have all the food.
Yeah.
Right, charge you a fixed fee. So that's kind of model. It's not the perfect future model. So what we are doing here is trying to create a digital infrastructure to enable all the creators, large and small, especially the smaller ones, that you have idea, because AI now gives you the tools. You can creating content more easily, lower cost, to reach eyeballs globally. Right now, today, our conversation is in English.
Right.
What if there's a billion some people speaks Chinese? There's a lot of people speak in Spanish.
Yeah.
How do we do it? Well, dubbing costs a lot of money, right? Find someone to do that in live. But today, the technology, AI technology, allows that to happen. If you go on YouTube, choose a button, say, hey, this is a good conversation.
And we should be paid for that, right?
Well, in this case, you pay for the content.
Right.
You want to reach the eyeballs in some way that consumer watch it for free, but advertisers bought their time.
You talked about, you were at this genesis stage of digitization. Now, this time last year, generative AI came on the scene, which has already been transformative,
Yes.
at least in our mindset around this.
Yes.
How did it change your job? Because you've seen all of this coming.
Yeah.
Has it made your job more challenging, or has it made it easier? Or not at all? No difference at all?
Well, for us, we see an enormous opportunity, right? Because why? I mean, I'm a believer.
Because now we're scared.
Wow, yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's rightfully so. There's people in Hollywood, right? You see the union strike and dispute, right?
What,
The
Black
people.
Mirror episodes where their heads are imposed on other bodies. I mean, there's all kinds of things that are possible that give us pause.
Yes, but those things happened before. People kind of, have a short memory in the history if you go back. Why? If you look at Disney, Mickey Mouse, initially those animation movies, some artist, they paint one frame by one frame. I'm sure I can't do it because I don't have that talent, right? You got to hire those people. But with the computer technology, they can automate that.
Yeah.
With Pixar, the whole thing, you give the story, it's all generated by computer, right? So yes, there will be some labor displacement. Those artists who's very good on drawing these, things, they no longer need the work, right? But I'm a believer that human being can always find something better to do, right? If computer can replace our conversation, I'll be happy just go drink coffee with you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So,
we can have a conversation. Our avatars can converse, and we can go find out what they said later on. Well, it makes it for an interesting point is when you look around the corner, because you are on the front lines of technology in a way the rest of us are not. What do you see in terms of what's ahead? Some of the possibilities for innovation.
I think in this case is that there's no doubt this AI technology is going to making content creation more efficient, lower the bar, because creating a movie or something is very expensive value proposition. It's a high risky business too. If you look at it, the people get fantasized by a big movie, Avatar, great success. Over the history of the whole life of film, lifetime box revenue over $1 billion, there are only 53 of them.
Yeah.
So it's very, difficult.
But there's a lot of content out there. Some would argue I would argue there's too much content, right? It's a tsunami of junk for a lot of people. So do we need more democratization?
Well, in this case, I believe so. I think you call it junk is because today's AI, by some way, I'm not in total agreement with the company. Say you like coffee.
I'm talking about cat videos and people showing us what they eat.
They keep sending you that. That's not a healthy lifestyle,
right?
right? So they ignore everything because you spend time on there. They want you to spend more. So if you watch cats, they're going to send all the cat stuff. Maybe some of the dogs movie looks good too, right? So I see a world. I think it's really a personalization. To have more content is not bad. I think it brings a more inclusive environment. People have different ideas, a more diversified. To have only one idea for a large population is dangerous, right? So in this case, but the problem is that to finding those voices, give those people to find the audience is difficult. Right now, there's no platform. You create an expensive movie, you have to go to a movie theater. They only can release certain movies in the day, right? I'm not saying,
or beg one of the streaming services or something.
To take it. Well, in that case, they give you a lump sum. And that's how they make profit, right? So in our view, I see a future that these AI tools are going to empower people because right now, you can say, hey, I like a picture of San Francisco with Golden Bridge, with sunrise. That's going to be very nice. With my training, with my limited artistic talent, I can't draw that picture. AI tool can help me do that. They can create a movie of that. Maybe I'll be able to tell a story. With you, something, interesting 5-10 minutes that can create an interesting video. And that may be able to find a lot of eyeballs globally by translating to 50 different languages, right? And in that case, what if a digital infrastructure, that's what we're doing, and can bring those things, not only eyeballs, but also revenue back to you.
So the discoverability and making it easier.
And also bring the revenue, attribute back to you.
That's
going to be great. Like YouTube has 50 million creators today. It's a meaningful job creation. So in my view is that I'm a believer that when computer and machine find something to do for us, there can be some things, better for us to do. Like it used to be you have the horse and the carts. Someone have to ride a horse. That job is gone forever.
Yeah.
But we find better things to do.
Let me ask, because we're at APEC, we focus, you're in Silicon Valley, we always think about tech, it's synonymous with certain locations in the US. One of the values here is to see how the innovation's playing out in other parts of the world, China and other nations. What would you say about that? Because if you had a chance to speak to counterparts, you must already, but how are these conversations and how is the technology playing out in these other markets?
Well, I came to the United States more than 30 years ago. I was born and grew up in China. I came to here. I've been living in Silicon Valley for 30 years. This is an amazing place. This is where Americans, we believe, American dream, we believe anything is possible.
Yep.
That confidence level, I think, is great. That's what makes this innovation possible. In some way, I felt this is where Americans, we need to regain the confidence. If you look at the sports games, right, you just make yourself better.
But a lot has happened in 30 years. I mean, there's incredible innovation ecosystems in China now, and in many other markets. Is it not comparable? Is there still something unique about Silicon Valley that's hard to replicate in that respect?
I think there are a lot of places want to learn making a Silicon Valley. Even look at the United States. There's a lot of great states. I went to school at UF in Florida. Mm-hmm. A lot of people want to replicate Silicon Valley. There's only one Silicon Valley in the United States. So far, there's only one Silicon Valley in the world, right? So I'm saying is that, it's by innovation and changing, involving, making ourselves better, that's how we stay ahead. It's not by preventing people copying another thing. Yes, the innovation is coming up in China, no doubt about it. They're developing new technology for sure. That's a fair competition,
Yeah. So let me ask you, since you were born in China and you obviously these are your global markets too, how do you react to, how important is it to have conversations between President Xi Jinping and Joe Biden? Just on a personal level, because you bridge both cultures.
Yes, I do. I spend time on both countries, and I think it's extremely important. I'm so pleased and glad to see that conversation happen. Falola is a great garden. Mm-hmm. They can talk to a person. Nothing can change, replacing. I'm sure the video conference system they're using is much better than the one we're using, but something having a face-to-face conversation is still different. And also from what I heard, from the press, what Biden said, President Biden and President Xi Jinping said, I think it's great progress. The world, there's no need for another war, right? We've got better things to do, So I think to have a sort of managed relationship and we can compete, yes, both sides. I think a great and peaceful and prosperous China is a good thing for U.S. Same way, for U.S. to get better and more advanced and happy, more confident U.S. is better for China.
Is there anything else that is on your radar, even from this event or otherwise, you want to put on ours that maybe we're not thinking about, or something we'll be talking more about in the next year?
Well, next
you get into rooms we don't get to go.
No, in this case, I think this is a great, process. It's make change for San Francisco already. You're in New York, for the people, who know San Francisco, this is good. It's cleaner.
Cleaner. Oh, you mean it's cleaner right this week? It's cleaner.
Well, I hope it stay that way, and it brings a lot of people coming to the city. I think San Francisco has a unique, a lot of things unique in history. I hope this year, the meeting of the two presidents in San Francisco may be leaving the history another major milestone.
But may I ask, because I know this is your hometown. I know Silicon Valley, maybe not quite, but
quite 40 miles away. Close
enough.
Yes.
The state of San Francisco gets so much attention. I mean, I'm from New York. That gets. What do you say? What do you think about it? Because obviously there's something poignant about such a beautiful city that has had so much crime and visible pain on the streets.
I think that's something not only unique to San Francisco. A lot of major cities, unfortunately, in the U.S. going through that. New York, I've got my good friends, living. They work on our board.
We got our problems.
There was bad time, then they fix it. Now there's something, needs to be fixed again, right? So I'm a believer in people, and then over time we can find solution to, change it. It's just like we have disease once in a while, we're going to treat it.
We get through it.
Yeah.
So this is a gathering of policymakers and business leaders. How important is policy? What do you want to see on the policy front that is important for your business, since we talk about innovation all the time?
I think there's one thing I generally want to stay away with those. I think it's just, we need to have sensible policy, not partisanship. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
It needs to be based on issue, based on result, not based on the party. That'll be great.
Can't think of a better place to stop than there. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Great.